The 21st Britannico Annual Teachers Convention. As part of our professional development program for our teachers, the 21st Britannico Annual Teachers Convention was held on the 2nd of August in the modern venue of the Marriott Hotel in Miraflores. The Britannico Annual Convention is the most important social academic event of the Britannico year. It allows our teachers and academic staff to get together and be more professionally enriched through the presentations that take place. It is also a great opportunity to meet not only teachers and staff from other branches, but also international speakers, Britannico academic staff, and members of the Board of Directors of the Britannico. This year, the program included concurrent sessions by guest speakers Christopher Vasilius, Anglo del Perú, Mauricio Ortega, Anglo del Perú, Graham Harrison, Cambridge English Language Assessment, Julie Watson, Cambridge University Press, Douglas Scott, Macmillan, Luciana Fernandez, National Geographic Learning, Nina Lauder, Oxford University Press, and finally a plenary by Antonia Clare from Pearson. Teachers from all our branches gathered early and enjoyed meeting each other. A very special guest to our convention, the British Ambassador, Mr. Anwan Chaudhry, gave a brief but emotional speech and officially opened the event. Following the opening ceremony, there was a coffee break and time to interact with and meet colleagues from other branches. After the coffee break, 3 rounds of concurrent sessions were programmed. These sessions were run for the most part by Britannico teachers who showed all their expertise and shared their knowledge with their colleagues. Buffet lunch was offered at midday, and there was also time for participants to visit the book exhibition and see the latest publications. Pearson Longman, Macmillan, Richmond Publishing, University of Dayton Publishing, Cambridge English Language Assessment, and Cambridge University Press were present, as were local distributors such as Nutesa, Special Book Services (SBS), and Anglo ELT. All displayed very interesting teaching materials. We also had the Britannico Library participating with a stand, showing the services they offer and plenty of reading and reference material. The concurrent sessions by guest speakers took place after lunch break. We had Having Fun Communicating with Serious Results by Julie Watson, 5 Secrets for Listening Success by Christopher Vasiliu, Superhero aka The Teacher by Mauricio Ortega, Communication Skills by Nina Lauder, Classroom Routines That Really Work by Luciana Fernandez, Life Skills, Are Students Prepared to Be Competent and Successful Individuals by Douglas Scott, and What Just Say by Graham Harrison.
Here we are with Mr. Graham Harrison, and he's going to answer a question from this bank of questions. So okay. Please pick one.
All right, I will do. Are they all the same kind of difficulty level, or are they all different? Let's see.
Tell me something that always takes place in all your lessons.
Well, there are lots of things that always take place in all my lessons, but one thing, and I've been talking about this today, is using phonemic script in my classes. I always make sure when I teach vocabulary that the students know the pronunciation, and they also know how to write the pronunciation in phonemic script as well. Okay, I think that's a really important tool for students.
All right, and how was your experience giving this presentation?
It was good. I've done this twice now, and I like the audience in the Britannico because they're always they're friendly, they're very positive as well, and I think they always give you that kind of good vibe that they're enjoying themselves.
All right. Okay, thank you, Mr. Harrison.
Not at all.
Thank you. Right. Tell me about something that frightens you as a teacher.
Something that frightens me as a teacher is that my students, when they have to take international exams or end-of-year exams, they get a blank in their heads, and they can't do it. They become blank.
Oh, right.
That would frighten me. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much. Julie, we know that you had the opportunity to attend several sessions. Which one did you find the most interesting?
I found Faith and Pablo session on having fun the most interesting. They'd prepared some really good little activities, really practical and easy to use in the class.
Okay, Julie, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm here with Antonia Clare from Pearson. Today I have the pleasure to have a word with her. Antonia, first of all, how do you feel at our Teachers' Convention?
I feel fantastic. It's a really exciting place to be. It's beautiful. We've got beautiful view, loads of lovely teachers, so I'm really enjoying it. Yeah, I feel good.
Great to hear. Antonia, I was wondering if I can ask you a couple of questions. First of all, tell me, how do you think technology has helped you when you are teaching?
It's a really good question. Because I think technology gets talked about a lot, technology, how we use it in the classroom. And I think for me, the answer is usually the same. I'm very passionate about using video. So I've always used video in my teaching, all kinds of classes, with little kids, young learners, with exam classes, with adults, with business students. I really feel that video is a great way to engage learners. And in fact, I'm talking about it later on, about how, when you watch a video, you see, you hear, you feel, all at the same time. So it's using all the different senses. It really gets the brain kind of literally fired up. All the neurons are working, and that's like a switch for learning. So your students are engaged, they watch a video, and then the work that they do afterwards, any cognitive work that they do, is likely to be much deeper, much more effective, because the brain's kind of firing on all pistons. So I think it really, it has a great power to kind of involve students, to get them discussing things, and especially if they can bring in videos as well that they're interested in. Plus you can learn about all kinds of other things. You're not just learning language, you learn about people, you learn about different places, you learn about the world. So it kind of opens your mind to things, which is good.
Yes, I agree with you, and we have books in which the use of videos is being encouraged, which is really, really useful, and I think a lot of our students can benefit loads from that.
I think they really appreciate it, yeah.
Yes. Okay, now we're going to change a little bit the topic.
Okay.
I'm sure there must have been teachers in the course of your life, but maybe you can tell me about one particular teacher that you remember or that you look up to, or that...
I'm going to tell you about two teachers. The first one I was thinking about just the other day, and she was my English teacher when I was at primary school. And I remember her because I was absolutely terrified of her. She was really scary. She was very, very strict. And I remember I used to watch her in the classes. She would get very angry with all the students, although we were good students, and her face would go red. And anyway, I remember that I was always too scared to even speak in those classes. And for a long time, I always thought I was never very good at English and that I didn't really like it. And that was really because of that teacher. I've changed. Now I love language and English. But another teacher that I'm going to tell you about is my art teacher when I was at high school. And he was very, very tall. He was called Mr. Ross, and he was about 7 foot tall, and I was very short. So I used to have to stand on the desk or on a stool to get to eye to talk to him. But he was a really fantastic teacher for me because he taught me a lot about not just doing things by the book, to try and have an open mind, to do things differently. So he taught me a lot about creativity and about, always looking for a new way to approach something, not just doing it the way that everybody else has always done it before. And that was a really good lesson for me. So he was good too.
Thank you very much. It seems to me that that is a very good piece of advice for everyone, no? And
Absolutely.
Something that you can apply at different levels in our lives.
Teachers are so important, they have such a huge influence on us that it's a great honor, that we can be someone's teacher and try to be the very best teacher that we can be. I think that's a lovely job to have.
Thank you very much for your time, Antonia. Welcome to Peru, and well, I hope you keep enjoying having a good time at the convention.
I'm sure I will. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm here with Chris Basilio. He comes from Anglo del Peru and Publications. And first of all, how do you feel about being here today?
It's great. It's a great experience for me. It's the first time that I'm actually in South America and in Peru. And it's a really wonderful opportunity to be able to have a conversation with some of colleagues that I consider the teachers. Since I consider myself to be a teacher as well.
Great. Now, would you like to tell me something you like about teaching?
Something I like about teaching. Okay, there are so many things that I actually do like about teaching. The fact and only that you are able to deliver your knowledge and share your knowledge with your students, whatever the age, is reinforcing to be a teacher. I remember myself ever since I was a young student, I wanted to become a teacher, since most of my role models were teachers.
Thank you very much for your time, and well, welcome to Peru. I hope you have a wonderful time, and we'll look forward to seeing you again.
Thank you very much. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning. I have the pleasure today to be here with Mauricio Ortega. He comes from and ELT Impressor. And well, first of all, Mauricio, how do you feel about being here today?
No, it's always a great joy to be here, and it's both a pleasure and a privilege to be invited. And it's always nice to meet you and to meet all the teachers and to have a chance to share anything with them.
Okay, I was wondering if I could ask you a question. Would you be so kind to share a good tip for a new teacher?
A good tip for a new teacher. Well, there are many things that we can tell them. Basically speaking, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of teaching. Teaching is a great experience. And if I could say anything to them, it would be, one, always be open to learn. Yeah, you're going to learn a lot from teaching them. And two, try to keep things simple. Yeah, new teachers usually have to learn a lot and they have to be aware of too many things. And it's going to be much, much better if they take it easy and they just go with the flow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your advice. I'm sure our teachers will really much appreciate it. Thank you, Mauricio, and thanks for being here with us today.
Hello, here we are on the 21st Annual Teachers Convention, and I have here with me Luciana Fernandez. Welcome, Luciana.
Thank you. Always a pleasure to be here in Peru.
She's representing National Geographic Learning. So, Luciana, we're going to ask you a couple of questions, but this time you're going to pull them out from a little bag I have here. Okay? So, let's try the first one.
Shall I read it?
Yes, please.
Tell me a good tip for a new teacher. Always be updated with the latest trends. Know who your students are so that you can cater for their needs.
That's very interesting, to get to know your students, right? I think that's a secret for success.
Absolutely, because it's about knowing them. Who are they? What characteristics do they have? How do they learn? What things can I do in the classroom so that I really benefit learning?
Exactly. Thank you very much. Can you pick up another question, please?
Let's see. Tell me what you consider the biggest challenge for a teacher is. Well, actually is getting students ready for life, because in an ever-changing world, you need to, as I said before, be updated. Am I getting my student ready for the future? My student learning English, what am I getting this student ready for? So that's the challenge. We are educating the 21st century learner today, and that's a challenge.
That's true. We're teaching the future, right? Luciana, thank you very much for being here with us, and we hope you enjoy this event.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the 21st Annual Teachers Convention. We are here with Nina Lauder. Welcome, Nina.
Thank you very much. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Is it the first time you come to Peru?
Yes, it's my first time in Peru.
Well, I hope you have a great time.
Hope so.
Well, here I have a bag with some questions we're going to ask you. I will kindly ask you to pull out one question to answer to us.
Okay. First question.
And the question is, tell me something that always takes place in all your lessons.
Ooh, something that always takes place in all my lessons. Hopefully, it's some enjoyment. Hopefully, students enjoy the lessons and have some fun.
All right, thank you. Let's try another question.
Another one, okay.
And the second question is?
The second question is?
Tell me which is the most difficult skill for students to develop?
Ooh, I think that's a tough question because I think it depends more on the student than on the skill. And it also depends on the age of the student.
How about young learners?
Young learners sometimes have problems with writing, accuracy in writing. Some of them struggle with reading, but they're generally quite game to communicate, which is good.
Well, Nina, thank you very much, and we'll see you around in this convention. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
All attendees participated enthusiastically and enjoyed every session. The convention was coming to an end, and the program included a plenary by Antonia Clare, Language, Learning and the Creative Mind, a very thought-provoking way to close the event. Everyone in the audience was clearly very motivated by her message. After such an inspiring talk, it was time for Ms. Maria Elena Herrera, our Cultural Center Director, to share some information about the cultural activities offered at our theater, gallery, and auditoriums. At the end of the event, the head of the Board of Directors of the Británico, Mr. Enrique Anderson, addressed some words to all attendees, closing the event by thanking participants for their presence and enthusiastic involvement. Once again, our convention proved to be a social academic event which allows our teachers to share and exchange teaching experiences, as well as learn about new concepts and English teaching techniques. Our special thanks and appreciation go to everyone involved in the organization of such a successful event.